Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the second of our series, Introduction to Tai Chi and Qigong. My name is Rhonda. I'm a reference librarian here at the Coolidge Corner Library. We're so glad you could join us today for this program. Our program is generously sponsored by the library trustees. Before we begin, a little bit of housekeeping. This program is held over a Zoom webinar, which means that presenters will have video and mics, and there will be time. And everyone in the audience is welcome to interact using the chat. There will be time to answer questions during the last 10 minutes of our class, and we invite you to type your questions into the Q&A, which can be found at the bottom of your screen. If you would like to keep up to date with news from the library, including new programs, services, and updates, I invite you to sign up for our weekly newsletter at brklib.com/newsletter. And now let me introduce our instructor, Anson Rathbone. Anson Rathbone came to be an acupuncturist after pursuing an interest in various Chinese therapeutic exercises that he learned from a number of teachers. He has long held to the ideal of putting effective traditional methods for health restoration and maintenance into people's hands that they may use them to sustain their well-being. Before we start our program, I would like to read a brief disclaimer. Participation in this online Tai Chi and Qigong program, while generally considered safe, could result in injury. Not all material presented here are suitable for everyone. These exercises are not intended to substitute for appropriate medical care or advice. Always consult your physician before beginning any exercise program. Program creators, teachers, producers, and hosts assume no responsibility for injuries resulting from the use of this material. Without any further delay, please join me in welcoming our instructor, Anson Rathbone. There you go, Anson. Thank you.
Welcome everyone. Some of you maybe had joined us last week. So welcome back, and maybe there's some of you who are joining for the first time. So we're working on a set called the Tai Chi Qigong 18 Forms, and it's a wonderful set. It does an awful lot for the health and to maintain the health. Opens the circulation, deepens the breathing. It's good for insomnia. It's good for mental balance, keeps the limbs limbered and keeps the spine limbered and open. So, and it's a joy to do. It's really a wonderful exercise. So let's see. The video from last class has been posted on the Public Library of Brookline's YouTube channel. So for those of you who didn't take part in the class or who would like to review that material, please go there and look at it. Also, if there's enough interest in this class, the library may make this into a regular class for a while or as an ongoing thing. So you should tell them. You can, I think Rhonda, the host, will post her email address. You can send comments to her, or you can go to the library website and post comments there. Okay, so I'll do a quick review of the postures that we did last time for those who maybe hadn't seen them before and for those who would like to review that material again. I won't spend quite as much time as I did last time with it, but it should be enough to help get you started. So a couple of words. There's breathing coordinated with the movements. Don't worry too much about whether or not you're doing that right at this point. Just don't force the breath. Let the breath be easy, almost as though the postures themselves were causing the breathing. Be careful not to overbreathe. Don't exhaust yourself trying to keep up with the movements. You know, just roughly, there's an inhale portion and an exhale portion for each of the postures. So just do the best you can to follow that. But if it's too hard to follow that, then don't worry about it. at this stage of learning the set, doing the postures is already something important. Breathing might come later, the more detailed aspects of the breathing. So generally, we're going to be lifting from the top of the head. So it's almost as though we have a string tied to the top of the head. The chin will tuck slightly. The neck and the whole body, everything else relaxes down. The feet are parallel, about shoulder width apart. And there's a gentle bend in the knees and a gentle bend in the hips. So you can kind of bounce in your stance slowly to see that everything is as loose as you can get it. Okay, so the first posture, the commencing form, the hands come up and the elbows down and wrists down. So I'll turn to the side so you can see that. Inhaling, the hands come up, and exhale, the hands come down. So we'll do this a few times. So generally the postures are done 6 times each, but you can spend a little more time with them if you like. So the second posture, broadening the chest, starts like the first one, and then the hands, when they reach shoulder height, they extend out to the sides and then come back. So inhale, inhale a little more, and exhale. Inhale, inhale some more, and exhale. So we'll do this a few times. So the third posture is called playing with rainbows. So the hands come up over the head. I'm sorry, dancing with rainbows. So inhale to one side. This hand comes down to about shoulder height. This hand is roughly over the top of the head. And then as we exhale, we go to the other side. So don't worry about which side is which. You can just try to mirror me. At this stage, it doesn't matter so much which side you're doing first or second. So you can be easy about that. Just try to, as best you can, copy the movements that I'm doing. So inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And one more time. The next movement is called circling hands. So we sort of squat down a little bit, cross the hands, and come up, and the hands circle out. So each hand is doing a circle. Together it looks like this. Inhale and exhale. The next movement is called Repulse Monkey. So as the hands come down from the last movement, the hands come up the front. One hand drops back, circles up over the shoulder, hand comes past the ear roughly, and then extends out as the other hand drops down, circles over the shoulder, and comes out. So inhale as the hand comes back, exhale as it goes to the front. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, and inhale, exhale. So notice I'm turning slightly to the side as the hand goes back, and I turn to the front as the hand comes to the front. Turning to the side, turning to the front. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. I'm just going to turn to the side so you can get a side view. Next movement is called rowing a boat. So from the last, the hands are sort of out in front, they drop down. And you can bend the knees slightly and inhale, hands come back a little bit, up and down. So it's sort of like oars rowing. And inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Keep breathing. So how do we know if we're over breathing? If you find you're starting to get a little lightheaded or something, then it means you're over breathing. So we have a movement like this where, we have a breath that's coordinated with that. If you try too hard to coordinate the breath, you might exhaust yourself in a way and you get a little dizzy, either too much air or not breathing enough. So just let the breath be easy to follow the movement. So inhale. It might mean if you have trouble following the whole movement with your breath, try breathing more slowly. So inhaling more slowly, exhale more slowly. So the breath can last as much of the movement as you can. And again, like I said, if concentrating on the breathing is making it difficult to follow the movement, then just ignore it at this point. So the next movement is called lifting a ball. So for this one, we turn again to the side, we lift the heels a little bit and sink the heels. Turn to the side, raise the heels, sink the heels. So lifting a ball to the side, let the ball drop. The ball bounces up, we take it with the other hand, lift it up and let it drop. So inhale going up and exhale going down. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. The next one is one of my favorites in this set. It's called Carry the Moon. So from the last movement, we reach the hands up to the side, and as though you're holding like a beach ball size thing, take hold of the moon, carry it down past the knees, and carry it up on the other side. So inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. So the next one is called twist and push, or turn and push. So after we've been here, the hands come down, and then this hand sweeps across the body. We turn slightly to the side. This hand then goes out into a push. This hand comes back, palm up the waist. So inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Continue. One more each side. Inhale, exhale. Okay, so that brings us up. That's what we completed last week. We'll just take a little rest right now. Drink a little tea if you have it. So last week, I believe I mentioned that the quality of the movement is something to pay attention to. So it's almost as though you're moving through a thick fluid. Maybe you're underwater. And so you're almost kind of weightless, and you're moving through kind of a thick liquid. So that's a little bit the feeling that you want to have. Also, the idea of moving in slow motion, hands coming up. So the slow motion aspect, the moving through a thick fluid. So those are things that might help you to get a sense of the movement. All the while you're lifting from the top of the head and you're dropping down through your body. So even when my hands are out to the side in the second one, broaden the chest, I still want to have a sense that I'm dropping down through my body, down to the ground, dropping, relaxing down. And that helps you to align with gravity. And it also helps to allow your energy to go down into your body. And I mentioned this last time, I believe too, we very easily get our energy to come up. It stirs around in our head, and with our thoughts, we're on the computer, we're doing this, we're doing that. What we need to make balance is to also be able to get the energy to go back down. Very useful before you go to sleep is to bring the energy down into your feet. So sometimes if you're having trouble sleeping, maybe in the cooler weather, you can soak the feet in warm water. And that helps to open the circulation in the feet. And it helps to pull the energy down. So it keeps it out of here. This guy can quiet down, and these guys can be nice and warm. Okay, so we'll start the next 9. This next one, I'm going to spend maybe a little bit of time with this, because this is probably the quintessential Tai Chi movement. It's called cloud hands. So it has an awful lot of Tai Chi principles at work in it. So take a stance about shoulder width, maybe slightly wider, and get used to standing in this posture a little bit. Relax everything. Relax your knees, relax your hips, relax your ankles. Easier said sometimes than done, but with study, you can get better at these things. Relax the shoulders. Lift from the top of the head, tuck the chin a little bit. Sink the sacrum down to the floor so the pelvis will tilt slightly forward. And that flattens out the lower back to some extent. None of this is strained, but it's done very gently, very easily. So for cloud hands, we're going to start shifting side to side. And in a way, this is kind of a nice awareness exercise. You can imagine that your legs are an hourglass, kind of. So as you're shifting, the sand is pouring from one side into the other. And then when you shift back, the sand is pouring to the other side. So there's a kind of a gradual movement back and forth. So you can spend, 10 minutes doing this. This is a good exercise to feel what's happening inside your body as you shift back and forth. How is it that you're shifting? What's happening? What's the mechanism? So you can kind of question and observe what's happening. So now we're going to add a slight turn. So we're turning kind of the whole axis of our body. And it doesn't have to be a big turn, maybe 10 degrees, 15 degrees. We're not straining here. We're trying to just get a sense of that turning movement. And as I had said before in the last class, if any of this is uncomfortable or painful, make the movement smaller, make the shifting smaller, make the turning less, until you can figure out what it is that's going on. And it may mean that you just need to spend a little more time doing less than trying to force your way into getting your body to do what you think you want it to do. So we're going to lift a hand up almost as though we're holding a ball in front of our chest. And we're going to be turning towards the elbow of this upper hand. Okay, then that hand will slide down the side of the ball and then go across on the underside. Come up. So we're making a circle with that arm. Keep the shoulder down, keep it relaxed, keep the joint open. Don't bend the arm too close to the body, keep room for that ball. Okay, so let's try this with the other hand. So we're just really positioning the arm, and then the turning and the shifting is what's carrying the arm through space. So see the circle that I'm making with my arm? Now if we do both of these together, now again, you can build this up more slowly. You can spend more time with these. If doing both hands is kind of confusing, then that's what you need to do, is spend more time with the simpler component parts of this movement. But it's almost like we're holding a ball, we change our hands, and we carry the ball to the other side, change our hands, carry it back. So it's a little bit like that. If you smooth that out a little bit, it starts to look like cloud hands. So the movements are continuous. They have throughout the whole set, the movements have a continuity to them. There's no hard stops. So we can inhale, turning to the side, and exhale, going to the other side. It doesn't matter which side. You can switch it the next time you do it. Doesn't matter. Inhale, and exhale. Hold the ball, carry it across, change the hands, hold the ball, carry it across, change the hands. Okay. So if this is difficult, you could spend some time reviewing the video once it's uploaded to the library's YouTube channel and go over this part. And you can spend a lot of time with this. If you learn only one movement from this set, I would hope it could be this, because this could be your whole Qigong exercise, really. Okay, so the next movement is something called scooping the sea. So, and we're going to be doing something a little different here. We're going to turn one foot to slightly to the side, about 30 degrees, and then step forward with the other foot. And this makes what's called a bow and arrow stance. So as we shift forward, the hands cross, and this is a little bit like the circling hands movement we did near the beginning, third or fourth movement. So I'll show you from the side. I'm inclining a little bit to the front, shifting the weight to the front, and then shifting back as the hands open. So and the breathing would be exhale as we go forward, inhale as we come back. Inhale. Actually, should be inhale as you go forward, exhale as you come back. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Okay, so for the next one, keep the feet the same. The next time you go through the set, you could switch the feet. Like I said, I don't think it matters. So the next one is, so we've done scooping the sea. So you can pull the toe back up. That helps you to roll further back on that heel. Hands come down and then push. This is called pushing waves. So inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. So going from the same basic rocking movement, I'll turn to the side so you can see this. So I'm lifting the back heel as I shift forward. That helps you to get the weight a little further over the front foot. So the next one is called spreading wings. So after we've done the last push, hands come back and out. So this is called spreading wings. So inhale to the front, exhale to the back. Inhale and exhale. Okay. So the hands come back. You make loose fists that come back to the waist. Bring the front foot back. Turn this foot so they're parallel again. And this one is called punching. So one hand comes out. The fists are very loose. There's like a hole. You can put a pencil through here. Keep it loose. Whole arm is loose. It's almost like a party favor. So inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. So notice when the fists are back, the palm is up. When I punch, the palm rotates down. So the hand kind of like screws out. Keep the elbow down as best you can. Don't bring it up to the side. Keep the elbow down. And there'll be a slight bend here. You're not totally straightening the arm. And just do it nice and slow, very light. Inhale back, exhale out. Inhale back, exhale out. So it's almost like a party favor, one of those party favors you blow and it unrolls. So you can have a sense that that's what the arm is. It's empty. It's just paper unraveling. At the beginning, it's probably good to do it nice and slow until you can really feel that the whole arm is relaxed and the shoulder. The next posture is called Flying Goose. So the hands come back, down, bend down to kind of bend the knees, and then inhale, bring in the hands up. Go up on the balls of the feet as best you can. If it's balance is an issue, just have a sense that you're lifting the heels slightly, and exhale down. So inhale, and exhale. Just feel like you're a big goose flying through the sky, happy as could be. And exhale. So from this one, this next one is called turning the wheel. So we bend slightly from the waist. If you have back issues, be a little careful with this until you feel that your spine is limbered up. So bend from the waist slightly, the hands drop down. You're coming up on one side of the body and down on the other, like you're turning a big wheel. So generally the way this is done is 3 times on each side. And then when you get to the bottom, you change direction. So inhale as you come up, exhale as you go down. Inhale as you come up, and exhale as you go down. Inhale, and exhale. So we'll do it again, coming up on one side. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale, and exhale. So if my back is very tight, I might only just do it like this. My back is feeling more limbered, I can bend way over. But be careful, make sure that you're ready for that before you do it. And then going the other way, inhale, coming up, exhale down. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale, and exhale. Next one is called bouncing the ball. So as we inhale, we raise a hand and raise a leg, bounce the ball, inhale, exhale, bounce the ball. So that's the 17th posture. 18th posture is to lift the palms up and press the palms down. And inhale and exhale. So pay attention a little bit more to the downward movement. Here we're really letting our energy sink down. Inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And we can stand for a moment. And then continue with our day. Take a little rest. So the new postures, we'll go through those again. So we'll start with cloud hands. So turning to the side, hand comes up, turn to the other side, change the hands. So inhale to one side, exhale to the other. Scooping the C. Pushing waves. Spreading wings. Punching. Flying goose. Turning the wheel. Coming up on one side, down the other. Switch directions. We go right into bouncing the ball. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And lifting the palms up and pressing the palms down. So we have a few minutes. I'm going to go through the whole set, but I won't do the full 6 of each posture. I'll do, say, 3, just so we have time for questions and answers. So before we start the set, I mentioned this last week briefly, but it's probably good to stand for a little bit. So lift from the top of the head, tuck the chin, let everything relax down. Feet are parallel, knees slightly bent, hips slightly bent. So commence movement, inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Second one, open the chest, broadening the chest. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Dancing with rainbows. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Circling the hands. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Repulse Monkey. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Rowing the boat. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale. Lifting a ball. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Carry the moon. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Twist and push. Exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. cloud hands. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Scooping the C. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Pushing waves. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Spreading the wings. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Punching. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Flying goose. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale, and exhale. Turning a wheel. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Switch direction. Inhale, exhale. Bouncing a ball. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And lifting palms up, pressing palms down. So inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And just stand for a moment. Okay, so that's the whole set. So usually learning this, you'll learn, say 3 postures at a time. And then when you finish your practice, you can do the last one, the lift palms up, press palms down. So, and you can probably spend 3 or 4 days working with those 3 postures and then learn the next 3 postures. So that would be a way to proceed from this, you know, so you would want to make use of the library's YouTube channel. So that would be the Public Library of Brookline. Do a search for that on YouTube and you'll find this video and also the one from the last class. And again, if you like this program and you'd like to do more of this, it may, a number of the points that I bring out need to be repeated so that people can absorb them. You should let the library know that you like this and you'd like this to continue. So I'd like to open things up right now to questions. If anyone has any particular questions, they can type them into the chat and Rhonda can read them off to me and I'll answer them as best I can.
Thank you, Anson. I just want to let everybody know that I have put in the name of the 18 postures in the chat. Let me know if you do not see them. And they will also be included in the description of the video when we post it on YouTube. And I have a question here about what is the difference between Qigong and regular exercises?
Okay. Regular exercises are more muscular based. So more muscular and respiratory based. Qigong adds something to that. It adds deep relaxation And it adds sort of a meditative aspect. So oftentimes, and it's early to get involved, to get into this at this point in this introductory class, but you might actually, in some forms of Qigong, you might actually be feeling the energy moving through different parts of the body with the movements. So that when you're doing a certain movement, you might also be paying attention to how the energy is moving in the body. So it has that aspect as well. So it is somewhat different in that regard.
Mhm. And also, is it okay to do this exercise indoor, outdoor? Is it one way better than the other?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, it's probably best to do it outdoors if you have the opportunity. Given you're in a pleasant environment, you should feel comfortable in the place that you're doing it. It's probably best not to do it on a windy day or when there's some weather, raining, thunder and lightning. Probably best to do it inside in those conditions. Not too hot and not in the sun. I like to do it outside, kind of with like a bank of trees behind me, maybe an open field in front of me. That's probably the ideal place. I prefer doing it in somewhat of a shady spot. Although in the early spring, you can adjust your practice to the different seasons. It's nice to do it outside when it's a little cool, but with the sun shining on your back, that can be really wonderful. Especially at the end of the winter when you're looking for a little bit of that summer warmth, that sunshine warmth.
Right.
Any other questions?
Yes, feel free to type in your questions in the chat.
This set was developed not actually that long ago. This set was developed by someone by the name of Lin Ho Shun. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing his name correctly, but he was. I think his undergraduate degree was in athletics. He went to one of the athletic schools in China, probably in the 50s, maybe 60s, early 60s. So he became very interested in Qigong. And I think he did some studying with people. During the Cultural Revolution, these kinds of practices were frowned upon. So he practiced on his own in private, because I think in some areas of China, people could be persecuted for engaging in these practices because they were considered kind of old school. And I think China at that time wanted to make a break with the past. It was later that they realized the benefit that these practices could have and help to ease the burden on their medical system, because it took a long time for China to get enough Western trained doctors to be able to treat all of the population. So I think in the late 70s and early 80s, Qigong kind of came out, and Lin Ho Shun was somewhat instrumental in that. This particular set, I think he created in the late 70s, and it's based on Tai Chi and Qigong principles, which are actually very ancient, some maybe going back 3,000 or 4,000 years. But he found a group of postures that he thought were good and kind of covered all the bases. So he put them together in this set. I think he published a book maybe in the early 80s that was very popular. And I think towards the end of the 1980s, he's also famous for performing stimulating certain acupuncture points on a patient while they were having throat surgery done was one of them. But I think there were about maybe 20 surgeries that he participated in, where he would emit energy and stimulate these points. to keep the patient calm and relaxed. So the patients were awake for these surgeries. I think the patients were very carefully chosen so that they knew nothing could go wrong during the surgery, and that he had a rapport with, so to speak. So they were receptive to his energetic transmission. But it sounds kind of unbelievable, but it's actually fairly well documented. And I think if you look around, you can find information on that. He later went on to create another 5 sets, I believe. Some of them are primarily standing, but there are, I'm sorry, say again. There are other sets that were created, but this is probably the most popular one, and arguably this is one of the most popular Qigongs in the world. There's not, I don't know how widely it's practiced here in the United States, but I think in Southeast Asia, it's very widely practiced. In Malaysia, in Thailand, other countries, China, I think probably still is practiced. I go to Taiwan periodically, so I've seen people practicing it there in a small park near where we usually stay.
Thank you so much. I have one last question here.
Right.
An attendee said, I noticed my shoulder was a little tight in some of the open arm postures. Will that get more open?
Yes, but don't be careful, pay attention to that and don't overdo it. It may be, especially after the winter, our upper body has not been used a lot. So some of the joints may not have gotten the lubrication they need. Some of the muscles may have atrophied slightly. So pay attention to that and try to notice which movements aggravate it, and try to make those movements smaller so you're not aggravated, you're not increasing the irritation of those points as you're doing this. You can also spread it out a little bit in the beginning. Don't do the form every day, or don't do those postures every day, and add them in gradually. You may find that some of the other movements actually help the shoulder or shoulders if it's a problem. But you might find, as you're starting out, until your body gets used to it, you might find some areas are painful. Pay attention to those. Part of the point of these exercises is to bring us back to ourselves. And part of that is paying attention to what's going on inside of our bodies and attending to that, giving it the attention that it needs.
Great, thank you very much. Again, if anybody has any comments or feedbacks about this program, please send them to me personally, or you can send it to the library. There's on the library website, there's an ask a question icon. Click on that. And I'm going to type my email address in the chat right now. So please use it if you need to. And we're so thrilled that everyone joined us this past 2 weeks. And I want to extend our thank you, our appreciation to Anson. It was a wonderful program indeed. And I hope all of you have enjoyed it.
Yes, and thank you, the Public Library of Brookline. Thank you folks there, Rhonda, and your supervisor and the trustees for making this possible. I appreciate your giving me the chance to do this. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.